Gotta set the live up real quick.
They sent it
We'll
out.
get into this. It says that it's live.
Yeah, it sent it out.
It should be on the YouTube side as well.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure they put it on
Why you
the
got
YouTube
two windows?
side as well. So they're controlling it because I'm in out here in Indy, so my internet is like trash. So try to do some things. It just wouldn't happen for me. So they holding it down for me on this end, and I'm just okay. I think we live now. All right, so we are live. We are officially live. All right, so yeah, you already know what it is. We already got my guy Smitty in here. We about to talk some draft combine. It's raining like crazy out there, so I just figured I'd come back, to the hotel and do it from here. But if you guys want to join, the link is going to be pinned in the chat. So we'll get into this though. I'm gonna be here for about 30 minutes. So if you guys got any questions, definitely let me know whatever's on your mind. But what's going on, Smitty? How you been, brother?
And I've been watching you, man. I've been trying to see what's going on, man. I've been keeping in touch, trying to see who out there. I've been trying to get a little research in too, man. It's been hard though.
Yeah, it's been interesting as far like look, I wasn't here for the first day, so D linemen and everything I didn't really get to talk to. But obviously they posted some crazy numbers on the first day of the actual combine, some of them record breaking. And honestly, it's been like a talk, I think, throughout the whole convention center, and all the people have been talking about it. We're looking at these cornerbacks, and today it is cornerbacks and specialists, and we're saying to ourselves, these boys better not get embarrassed. I mean, these defensive linemen just went out there and put on a show. So it's time, it's time to really go out there and show and prove. But I think it's going to be interesting. Today, I talked to Jackson. I don't know how to say his last name, but you know who I'm talking about, the guy that's a Dallas Cowboys fan. But I spoke to him. And, it seems like he wants to a lot of the questions were centered around Dallas. Like, I would be almost sad for him if he doesn't go to Dallas, because it seems like he's putting all his eggs in that basket. God bless him. But I talked to Marvin Mims. The Eagles have talked to Marvin Mims. I think he said 2 days ago they talked to him. He seemed excited about the prospect of going out there. We talked to Trey Palmer. Trey Palmer also said that he was excited at the prospect of going to Philadelphia. He used to actually play against Devontae Smith. So he used to, and shout out to his mom.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, his mom actually followed me on Twitter, so shout out to her. But it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of guys out there. I'm trying to think who else. The tight ends were up there. I know Tucker Croft was out there. There was a couple guys that realistically, if the Eagles, and I have to look up who actually said this, but there was somebody on Twitter that basically said that the Eagles drafted Dallas Goedert when Zach Ertz was 28. Dallas Goedert is now 28, and you have a pretty flush draft when it comes to tight ends. So it'll be interesting to see what the Eagles do. Like, if they feel that's the route to go, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. What's up to everybody in the YouTube side of things? I see Drew Johnson, Big Joker. If y'all got any questions, man, just leave them in the comment, and we'll get to them. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody
catch you? If you guys want to join?
Wasn't on before?
Catch my eye. I would say I wouldn't say necessarily catch my eye,
but at least got
and I wouldn't say necessarily caught my eye, but Kalijah Cansey, I feel like his his combine just really showed everything he is. He's a strong guy. He's a fast guy. He's an athletic guy. And I've been saying for a while that I would love for the Eagles to go ahead and get him. I think one of my mock drafts, I had him getting taken with our second pick, and people were saying that was way too high. Well, at that point, it might have been. I think this combine really solidified him. Wide receiver-wise, obviously, it's going to be about seeing them, run and do all that. But I really like Trey Tucker's mentality. Talking to him, it was really cool to pick his mind and see what he likes to do. Parker Washington just seems like a really fun guy to be around. He just seems like one of those guys that just wants to be in a building. It's really tough because I'm trying not to add too much value to the combine. I'm trying not to look at this combine and be like, oh, he's the greatest. But these edge guys in general, I will say somebody that maybe fell off my radar a little bit is Andre Carter. Andre Carter's combine was terrible. His numbers were not good at all. I won't say that they were terrible, but they were like very pedestrian. They were very
below
middle
average.
of the
Just below
line.
average.
Yeah, and it's like at that size, at that, he's like 6'7", crazy wingspan. You kind of want to see him be a little bit more athletic, and I just didn't see that. These tight ends, though, I think these tight ends can obviously Mayer is a big name. There people are talking. I think a lot of Green Bay reporters are out there. They seem to really want him, and that kind of goes into what I was talking about with the Eagles draft pick at number 10. If you look at the draft pick at number 10, a lot of people are just saying, oh, if there's nobody they want, or if there's, whatever, you can just trade down. Packers were a team to me that I'm like, maybe they would go after a quarterback if Anthony Richardson's up there, who Anthony Richardson had a crowd today. He was, CJ Stroud had a crowd. Bryce Young had a crowd, don't get me wrong. But Anthony Richardson he was really the talk of the
I told somebody I think he's the X factor.
He kind of is. I think he's going to get drafted off whatever he does this weekend, and that's kind of why I think people were around him so much, because he is purely – and shout out to him. He actually gave a shout out to Brian Johnson. He said that he had mad love for Brian Johnson, that he taught him the ins and outs of offense and everything. So there were definitely some quotables, with these quarterbacks, but I don't see any of these guys really being an option for the Eagles. You look at Dorian Thompson, what was his name? Dorian Robinson Thompson, something like that. He's a guy I got to talk to and just got to talk to him about the NIL deals and, mentally where he was. And he was the guy I was kind of surprised even went back to school, to be honest with you. And he said the reason why he went back to school was mainly because he wanted to.
My bad, Joe. I don't know what happened to Joe. But I think that dude out of North Carolina is going to be a great pickup. I've been watching a little bit of tape on him. I think he's a great slot. A lot of people, that dude with the crazy name yesterday, y'all, if he get drafted by us running a 4-4 at the DN/D tackle, that'd be crazy, man. But yeah, man, y'all got anybody y'all think should be drafted? I think with our first pick, we should take corner though, Christian Gonzalez or possibly Devin Witherspoon. I think our second pick should be running back or DN. I really think it should be not Bijan though. Bijan a little bit too much of a reach. If he was to fall like out of the 20 though, I'd definitely pick him up. But sitting at 10, I can't take him at 10. So yeah, I feel like we could really make this a splash in this draft. I really see us making some moves to get some more picks early in the draft, close to the 4th and 5th round. But yeah, I'm really enjoying watching my boy Joe out there, man, getting some good content. Keeping that, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to really see what's going on inside of the combine. I know it's not a great evaluation of talent, because there's people that's had bad ones that's been good, and it's had good ones that's been bad. So I really just want to see what we produce out of this draft. The last two have been excellent. Big ups to Howie handled this business. So I just want to keep it, even. Maybe somehow we can get 3 or 4 splash players that can start now and play now. Like, we could do that. Be excellent. I really think so. You know what I'm saying? So, I think Joe will be back with me shortly. What's up, EC1 football?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What you think about this draft, man? Talk to me.
Hey, hold on. Let me make sure my camera's on, because I want people to actually see me.
Yeah, you good. I can see you. Perfect.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. A lot of people are going to get excited in this draft, because I think the Eagles are not going for corner. I think they're going to go defensive end in the first round, and I think they trade that 30th pick.
I think we 1-1.
Huh?
I think we go 1D. I think we go DN, and then I think we go corner.
No, I think we're trading that 30th pick, and I think, or we might trade that 10th pick after we move down, because we only got 1 second-round pick.
See,
And if you know how Rose
shout out to
does
my
not keep those 2 first-round picks at all.
shout out to my internet is out here. There's a bad storm out here, so I
Yeah,
apologize
so
about that. But I want to talk about that draft pick though. It's not going to be that easy to just let go of it. I think a lot of people are just saying trade that draft pick. What are we? Who's going to want to go up to the 10th pick?
Man, it's gonna Joe.
Like,
It's
that's
gonna be
the
so
real
much
question.
talent at 30. It's gonna be so much talent
There's
at
going
30.
to be
Trading
talent
is
at
gonna be
30,
ridiculous.
but at 10,
But here's the
but
thing,
at
right?
10,
It's gonna be
not
10
even
gonna be
at
ridiculous.
10 guys.
10 gonna be ridiculous. It's
And
gonna
it
be so
might
many
sound
people falling out
ridiculous,
loud.
but like I said, we got really excited when we had that 6th overall pick and we moved down. And if you know Howard
But there was
Roseman, he
talent.
loves.
There was talent in that draft. That draft is nothing like
There was
this one.
talent in this draft too. Look how many defensive
Not like
ends are
that.
coming in the draft.
Micah Parsons. You look at Micah Parsons. Devontae Smith wasn't even the first wide receiver to go. There was like 5 wide receivers that were nasty in that draft. There's not that type of talent in this draft. Like you look at this draft.
There's a lot of defensive ends in the draft. I mean, there's a lot of corners that are going to be falling.
There's a lot of good top end talent when it comes to defensive end. So are you willing to give up on a Brian Brisset?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't trade any pick. I wouldn't trade any pick. But knowing Howie Roseman, he's going to trade one of those first-round picks because we only got 1 second-round pick.
I think it'll be 30.
I think it will.
I think it'll be 30.
I think it will be 30. But like I said, I would not be shocked if we do trade that 10th and we move down. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say Howie Roseman.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't trade any pick. I would keep them in a draft because I think those are very valuable. But knowing Howie Roseman, he loves those second-round picks, and he only got 1. And you know what I'm saying? So we're going to probably get multiple picks because, you know, you're not building a team in one day. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. And, you know, I don't see the Eagles drafting 2 guys in the first round. Number one, you're going to have to pay them down the road. And knowing the Eagles, they love to trade those 2 first-round picks. They love to move up. They love to move down. I would not also be surprised if we take an offensive tackle. People got to understand Lane Johnson's getting old. You know what I'm saying? It's not the sexy pick. It's not a pick that you're going to like, but it's a thing when you look at it. It helped the Eagles get where they are. I mean, a lot of people
got too many holes for that, though.
Yeah, I get it too. But like I said, man, Howie Roseman, if you know him, he loves building through the trenches, especially like the defensive ends and the offensive line. That's his bread and butter. We have
but we ain't never lost 15 pieces off the defense either, though.
And that's what I'm saying.
Something's got to change.
Defensive end in the first round.
Something this offseason has to change because there's a lot of things that Howie doesn't do that this year it makes a lot of sense to do. You know what I'm saying? Like he obviously doesn't like to pick two times. He doesn't like to do that in the first round. But this year it might make sense. My biggest thing is, what do you want? If you're saying, all right, I want a defensive end for the next 10 years, and with that second pick, I'm willing to get a running back that's going to be here for 5-6 years, and then I know I have to just go get another one. I wouldn't be mad at that. If you're at number 30 and Bijan Robinson falls to you, or Jahmyr Gibbs, or a Zach Charbonnet, depending on what he does, there's a lot of running backs in this draft that I think their stocks might go up.
I'm not thinking no running back in the first round.
But hear me out. There's a lot of stigma around how the whole value of a running back, and you're not going to pay him on the second contract. That makes sense, and I get that. But we are also talking about going out and getting a guy like Josh Jacobs, getting a guy that's
I'm not paying Josh Jacobs.
But listen, you're going to have to pay a veteran. So if we're the team that's just going to take 4 or 5 years out of a running back, why not just take the best one, and then 4 or 5 years you figure it out then? I don't know if you're in this position at 30. Hold on. Let me finish my thought. If you're sitting at 30 and your thought process is none of these guys are going to most likely be back for the second contract, you might as well take the best player, and if that ends up being a running back, then you have him for a cheap rate for 5 years. I mean, it makes sense this year because there's not a lot of great players. If you could get a guy that at 30 you're like, hey, I think this guy's going to be a 10-year vet at the D line, then maybe you do that. But I could understand a running back at 30. At 10, definitely not. But at 30, I mean, that's basically the second. That's the second to last pick in the draft. I mean, in the first round. So, I mean, it makes kind of sense. If nobody really wants to give you nothing great, go ahead and take the best player. And if that happens to be a running back, you're saving money, in my opinion. You're not paying Miles Sanders. You're not going to pay any of these top flight guys to come here. You can get a top flight guy out of the draft this year. That's my thought process. These running backs are really good this year, in my opinion. But go ahead, my bad.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but Howard Roseman won't take a running back. I'll be shocked if he takes one. He's not taking no running back. If he's going to take a running back, it's going to be the second round. And number two, let me ask you a question.
We can't keep on saying Howie Roseman.
But here's the thing.
Why wouldn't he?
Howie surprised us 2 years in a row,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. How's Saquon Barkley working for the Giants? Other than having some okay years.
He was great. He
was great, but he also got hurt too, right?
What you're looking at, you bring up Saquon. Let's bring up Ezekiel Elliott. How he made them a top offense the whole time he was there on a rookie contract, right? Things started falling off once he got that second deal. Now the Saquon Barkley situation is that they're going to that second deal and they don't want to pay him. It's not that he's trash. It's that he was with a bad team.
No, I'm not saying he's trash, but like I said, if I have a chance to
what I'm saying is that you can't compare it. You can't compare it. You're adding a really top, and I'm not fighting for a running back. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibilities. You're adding a top flight player to that offense for a way cheaper contract than you would if you wanted to retain your running back or go get somebody else's top 10, top tier, running back. So,
but we seen Josh Jacobs fall to us, and we didn't bother taking him. We've seen so many other running backs.
That was a different year, though.
That was
but Josh Jacobs was supposed to be the next great running back, though. Like what I'm trying to say is, you're going to find another running back that's going to be better than the other running back every year.
We passed on DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson.
We did too. But here's the thing:
a million people that starred. You can't really evaluate another person's talents and what happened to this year. This year,
and listen, I won't be mad. I won't be mad if we take a running back in the first round. But knowing the Eagles, they're not going to do that. They're going to take an offensive line, or they're going to take defensive end or corner.
Hey, what Howie just said? He just had an interesting quote. He said, "If you're doing the same thing everybody else doing, you probably a step behind."
But like I said, when you think of, but we're thinking as fans. We're not thinking like Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is not going to take a running back. If he sees an offensive line falling, he's going to draft that over a running back.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm thinking about holes. I'm thinking about O-lineman.
My whole thing is you can't say he won't. This is a different draft here. But go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad.
No. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Like I said, Bijan Robinson's there at 30, and he's the best player. You take him, right? But like I said, man, I don't think Harry Roseman would stay at 30. That's what I'm saying. I think we're going to see a trade before the draft. I think we trade one of those picks and get a multiple picks down the road, because we only got one second round pick. We only got one second round pick, and as much as we love those first round picks and we're getting excited, I just remember the 6th overall pick. We were so excited because we're like, oh, we're going to get Jamar Chase. We're going to get Kyle. You remember Kyle Pitts? We were so ecstatic to land him at 6, and everybody wanted him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that we always fall for, and listen, it's great to have 2 first-round picks, right? It's great to think, we could have this guy and this guy, but it's like Howie Roseman's not going to do that. Howie Roseman, if you know his draft history, and listen, it's been working for him. He drafts defensive end and offensive line. Our offensive line is the reason why Jalen Hurts is right now, succeeding with that, because offensive line helps our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But you also got to look at this, right? Lane Johnson is getting older. They might draft a left tackle if a left tackle falls in the first round.
There has been talk about that out here. I've been like,
and I won't be mad at it. I know a lot of people will be mad. I won't be mad. You know why? Because I'd rather have my quarterback be protected. Because I've seen guys like Joe Burrow get hurt because of the offensive line. Yeah, they look at them. They should have drafted Penei Sewell. Yeah, they drafted Jamar Chase. He's nice over there. But now they got to pay every receiver over there. And they're not going to have enough money when it comes to sign Joe Burrow. They should have taken an offensive line, because now an offensive line would be more valuable than a receiver. Yeah, receiver's nice and it's making Joe Burrow look nice over there, but he has no offensive line. And offensive line helps your quarterback. Offensive line protects your quarterback. See, yeah, we can get a flashy player like a running back. But if there's an offensive line that's false, and plus not only that, we also got to understand, I think an offensive lineman can definitely fall. Quarterbacks are going to go off the board. You're going to see some defensive end fall off the board. I've been saying along. I think that guy Young, remember the guy yesterday, Young? I think he goes in. I think I have a feeling that the Houston Texans are going to do something that's typical Houston. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. As much as people think they're going to, I think they draft that guy from Georgia that just blew up the combine. Why? Because they always go for those.
Why would they not take quarterback?
Because they're not. This is Houston.
This is
Houston.
They don't have a quarterback on the roster.
This is Houston.
This year's going to be very interesting.
Houston has been a trash organization for a while. They're going to take the best player available.
They never passed
this
up on
thing,
talent,
EC. This is my thing, EC. You can't keep on bringing up the history of this. Is one of the especially the past 5-6 years. This is probably the weak as far as top tier talent goes. You have a lot of good players. This is a build your roster type year. This isn't a go get that best. But so I mean, at the end of the day, sticking on Howie. This is a year, and like, Smitty brought up with a quote with what he said, and he said, if they zag, you zag type deal. And it's true. It's true. Shout out to everybody in the comments saying it and everything. It's true. This is the type of year that if you can add a top tier element to your offense or your defense, you do it. And one thing I will say about running backs and their value, while I understand and I truly do believe that top 5, 10, evaluation for running backs is a little bit outdated. But if you're a good team and you are missing a running back, or a running back can take you over the top, as I think the Eagles are, obviously we need to fill some holes on the defensive side. But if you can put yourself with a great running back like that, it only helps. So I mean, if that's your best option, go ahead and do it. If you can trade back that number 10 pick, and at 30 you end up taking a running back, and then the top 15, 16 area, you're still able to get an edge or a defensive interior lineman. I mean, that makes it a lot of things the Eagles can do. The Eagles can do really whatever they want to do.
We're thinking like Eagle fans, man. We're not thinking like Howie Roseman.
I'm thinking like a person that literally just sat there and listened to it.
How can you think like Howie?
You're thinking like Howie.
I'm telling you,
all right,
this isn't as cut and dry as
let's put Howie Roseman's. Let's pretend we're Howie Roseman, right? You got a running back or you got an offensive line. Knowing Howie Roseman, and listen, like I said, if we take a running back, I won't be mad, right? Because the running back is great. You know what I'm saying? But knowing the Philadelphia Eagles, they are going to take the two trenches they always go for. Offensive line, that's the bread and butter. The defensive line, the front four. How do you think we won a Super Bowl? How do you think we got to a Super Bowl, right? Javon Hargrave's going to be walking. The Bears are reportedly running, go and get him. You know what I'm saying? Which, that's a good thing, because if they get him, that means we might have a chance at one of the top tier pass rushers, right? Or one of the guys are going to slip, right? But it's like I said, man, I would love a running back. But knowing the Philadelphia Eagles, they're not going to do that. Because
I feel you,
the Eagles are going to go.
You keep on saying the same thing, though. I get you, but
I know.
What I tell you is that you can't just go off their history and say it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It could. Who would have thought that?
I mean, it could.
Get a deep.
But it's more not likely.
Start the next year.
Who would have thought we took Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith back-to-back years?
I knew we were going to get a receiver. I knew we were going to get one of those guys. I knew we were going to get a receiver.
Who thought we would have traded up for Jordan Davis?
I knew we were going to get a receiver.
You just went on a soliloquy about history. What I'm saying is that was against our history. If you look at the history of the Eagles, when's the last time we've actually had a number one wide receiver? It's been over a decade. It's been a long time.
But,
you know what I'm saying? So,
you know why we got A.J. Brown, though, right?
First round picks. Hold on. I'll let you talk, brother. I'll let you talk. You look at what Howie Roseman has done in his time. You look at what Howie Roseman has done in his time, and it has changed. There has been a difference from the last couple of drafts to his. It's been an obvious difference. So, here and say that it's cut and dry. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. I do think that there's a possibility he takes an offensive lineman, especially if one of the top guys drops him. But I do think that at that number 10 spot, they're either looking to hope somebody has value in one of these quarterbacks, or a player that's still at the top 10 that's not a defensive lineman. Because if a Jalen Carter drops to them, which obviously, I mean, it is what it is. It depends where you lay on that side of the fence. But, you know, if Jalen Carter drops to him, a Tyree Wilson drops to him, Miles Murphy,
that's another
Ryan
thing.
Brissett,
That's another thing.
it's going to be hard to say no. It's going to
That's
be hard
another
to say
thing, man.
no. So I don't know if they're really going to be able to trade out of that draft pick, because you can't trade. When you look at the Devontae Smith trade, right? They traded back knowing, okay, at worst we can get a Devontae Smith. At worst we can get one of these couple guys that we think are going to be, you know, great players. I don't know if you can this year. I don't know if you can say, all right, if we move back 5 spots, at worst we can get X, Y, Z. I don't know. You're going to reach probably at 15, 16, 17. So I don't know. It's just not so cut and dry this year. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. And that's what I want to keep saying. I don't want to say I know and it's going to happen like this, it's going to happen like that. I don't think anybody can really say our history dictates how this draft is going to go, because it's just so different. You know what I mean?
Hold on. Before you go, you said history, right? History proves whatever you keep saying he won't do, right? Didn't 2 years ago we was trying to fire Howie Roseman for what he was doing in the draft? So if history is what we stand on, then history says we won't get a good draft pick at 10 or 30.
Well, if we don't get listen, let me say something. If we don't get a guy at 10 in the first round,
name somebody else he drafted that we really can put our feet on and say, oh yeah, that was a good pick right there.
I mean, we have some great draft picks in the first round.
Who?
Wasn't Lane Johnson a first round pick?
I said
Lane
5
Johnson
years.
was the first round pick.
Like 5 years ago.
5 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Go back
part of that. Brendan Lane Johnson.
First round.
And listen, Howie Roseman, I'm going to be a little bit hard on him too, because this is an important draft, right? Because you're not going to be able to sign players.
Chip Kelly had full reign of the thing before Doug Peterson came in?
Chip Kelly was a horrible drafter.
But no. That's not
he was not.
I'm saying. He wasn't. The people that Chip brought in, Howie had no say in,
Which
right?
one? Jordan Hicks?
Oh no, he had some good trades. Yeah, he brought in Malcolm. That was really
Chip Kelly had no say in.
He was a free.
If I'm not mistaken, Howie didn't have a say when Chip was bringing in players. So that's why I say 5 years. The last 5 years.
No.
What, name our first round picks that you still believe in, other than Devontae Smith and Jordan Davis.
So are you saying about the 10th? So if we have the 10th and you know our history, then why would you get excited? Because if you know you're going to be let down.
At 10, I'm hopeful. I'm not excited. I'm hopeful that he can pick out of the wide array of good players, because there's not many great players in this draft. I'm hoping he can just stick his hand in the cookie jar and pull out the right cookie, because I know Howie overthinks this situation a lot. Yeah, you can go get an offensive lineman. Yeah, you can go get a defensive lineman. But if the best player on the board is a cornerback or a running back, or I wouldn't say tight end because we got a great tight end, but if he's sitting there, I think you should take him.
When's the last time we drafted a corner?
And guess what?
That's the thing too.
And guess what? We have no good corners that we brought in ourselves.
If Devin Witherspoon is there at 10, or Christian Gonzalez is there at 10, and we take our offensive lineman, I will go insane. I guarantee you that. I don't care about our history. That would be stupid. I'm sorry. It's just
would it be?
That would be idiotic. That would be idiotic.
We got really upset when we took Landon Dixon because we want that linebacker from what's his name, Notre Dame. How good was he?
I don't think it was upset. I think
there was a lot of people that were upset, including me. I was upset too.
There's people that always get upset.
And shout out to my guy Bobby Murphy. He told me like.
I definitely was concerned, but he was the best player at that position, right? I mean, and that was definitely a need at that spot. We didn't know what was going to happen with center, and obviously he was able to kind of, accustom himself to the guard position. But yeah, I agree with you. That
what about Jurgensen last year? A lot of people were upset with him. A lot of people didn't want Jurgensen. A lot of people were angry with Jurgensen pick. I was happy with that. Like I said, man, it's not a sexy pick.
I would have to talk to the people about that.
You talking about Cam?
I think Cam was good. I think Cam.
A lot of people were angry with that one. I was happy with
Kelsey
it.
was the one that
I was happy with it.
Was like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
but when we first drafted him, a lot of people were saying that was a stupid pick. They said, why would you take him over a guy like Nakobe Dean or someone like that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Still got Dean, so that don't even matter.
You know, people get bored. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. The internet is terrible at my hotel, so if you guys want to come on
I'm
here and
not
talk,
trying to
this is the
say
best
Howard
way to do it.
Roseman.
Oh, you see, you hear
My
me
fault.
doing a soliloquy. You hear me
My
talking
fault.
to the chat.
My fault.
My
My
man
fault.
just let it go. But if y'all want to, join the conversation, the best way to do it is going to be through the pinned chat. I can't even see the YouTube chat right now. It just sucks. It's all around sucks. But we're doing this every day for the combine. I'm going to try and do another one of these right before I maybe go into the combine. Excuse me, either tomorrow or tonight if it stops. Yeah, you heard me. If it stops, because it's bad. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. But go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, EC. What was you saying?
I'm sorry for cutting you off, man. I'm my fault. I'm
No,
trying
you
to
good,
say,
brother. You good.
nah, not really. It was rude. My fault. I'm trying to say, like, I'm gonna tell you like this. Like, a lot of people are going, and if you think we're going to get a guy that y'all want, I'm telling you, you're going to be upset on draft day. Because if I know Howard Roseman, and people don't, and listen, I know Howard Roseman's done some great things, right? When it comes to A.J. Brown trade, all right? We needed a receiver, right? And I ain't gonna lie to you, there was, other than what, Burks, there was no other receiver we could have gotten. And that's why I think the Eagles pulled that trigger too. Also, I think they were working on it before. But it was a smart idea because all the receivers were going off the board. Like, I could see a scenario where, you might see a scenario where we might trade for a defensive line on corner. You never know what Howard Roseman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's Ramsey, but I'm saying the guy that we're not thinking of. Howard Roseman always makes deals, finds a way to get players. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, we're looking at the draft and we're saying, well, you need to get this player. But the Eagles might look at it and say, no, we're good at 10. We're going to stay there because this draft, we don't know how it's going to go, right? We could see a scenario where the cornerbacks drop to us, right? And here's the thing, what I'm trying to say is the Philadelphia Eagles are going to go what they always been doing and what's been working for them, and that is the defensive end and offensive line, right? I'm not saying they're going to draft an offensive line in the first round, but I'm saying I would not be shocked and I won't be mad because I'd rather get Jalen Hurts an offensive line than go out and get a cornerback would be nice. It's like an offensive line, it would protect my quarterback. Now, we do need DBs, right? And I feel like if you don't get one in the first round, you better hope there's one in the second round. I don't think all the cornerbacks are going to fall in the. I don't think all cornerbacks are going to be there in the first round. I think some of them drop to a second, right? We've seen so many times where players drop for some reason. Nakobe Dean was not supposed to drop in the first round. The fact that he did and he made it all the way to the third round is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So we know that there is talent in this draft that, a player can definitely drop. You know what I'm saying? We've seen things happen before where players drop when they're not supposed to. So I would not be shocked if, one of those top cornerbacks somehow don't get picked by any team and they fall in the second round. We move back. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm just throwing the scenarios out, right? A David Witherspoon is the guy that a lot of people, because not only he's not participating in the combine today, he's out, supposedly with an injury. So that can affect his draft. Davon Witherspoon's not participating today. He's out.
Yeah.
So it's like I could see a guy like him falling in the second round, early second round. Look at Booth Jr. Look at Booth Jr. Right, the guy that from Clemson. He was supposed to be a top pick in the first round. He fell all the way to the Vikings in the second round. We've seen cornerbacks fall. We've seen defensive end fall. We've seen linebackers fall. So it's like, yeah, it might sound like we can't have a chance to get a guy with the 10th pick. But knowing this draft, there is going to be someone that we do not see at all falling to us at 10, right? There's no point.
So let me ask y'all this. Before I get out of here and start heading back to the actual combine. I want to ask y'all because today
I gotta
is
get going too. I'm
almost
on my live stream. I'm doing a live stream today.
Today is combine. Today is the combine. So today is the cornerbacks at the actual, drills and everything. Who's a player that you guys either want me to watch or you're going to be watching? I mean, we all watching the same thing. I'll be just be in a different state watching.
Hey, what's
you guys are watching probably too. So
it's a cornerback. What his name? What, Henderson or something like that?
Which one?
I know his last name starts with an H. I can't really think of what his name is though. His name starts with an H. He's supposed to be like second round pick right now, projected.
What college does he go to?
I have to look into it. His last name starts with an H though. Henderson or Hudson or Hudson.
Cornerbacks?
Yeah, he a cornerback.
A
lot of people like him right
Garrett
now.
Williams from Clemson. Syracuse.
Garrett Williams.
What's his name?
The Eagles.
Garrett
so
Williams, the guy that we've been looking. I like him.
Oh
I
yeah,
do.
Garrett Williams. I like him too.
I can see the Eagles drafting him
too.
in the second round if he falls. I can see the Eagles going up and getting him.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I don't see any H.
Keelan Ringo? No, it's not him.
I don't like him. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on, I'll tell you right
now. And that's going to be another topic because like I can see the Eagles drafting him in with the 10th pick overall. I can see
Phillips is another guy.
You can see us drafting who with 10?
Keely Ringo. I think that's a guy that everybody's going to be sleeping on.
I don't think he's going to jump
that far. I can see Eagles doing it. You want me to tell you why I think the Eagles will do it? Because he's from Georgia. Who's the guy that we've been drafting last year?
I think they'll take Nolan.
Kobe Dean and Jordan Davis.
I think they would take Kaylee at 30 before they would take him at 10. I really do. I think that would be something that they're like, all right, we did it, guys. You see, we took the best guy because I feel like the Eagles are there. Their draft
we're not keeping those two first rounders. I'm telling you right now.
Hey, his name is Hodges, bro.
Hodges.
TCU.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the TCU guys. No.
Travius Hodges. I mean, they had a great year. They won the championship.
But after Jalen Reagor, I'm done with TCU guys.
Is great. You can't go like that. You can't do that because there's going to be Quentin. What's his name? Oh wow, Quentin Johnson, I think his name is their wide receiver. He's a good kid. He looks like he's going to be pretty decent. He's got good size.
Yeah, but if you heard what's the name? Steve Smith, he's saying he don't know what he is, and his tape does not.
I wouldn't take him in the first round. I don't think any of these wide receivers are really that first round ready. If I'm being 100% honest, like Jackson will probably be the first to go, but I don't think he's. I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Question for both of y'all though. What's up with Joey Porter Jr.? How he the third ranked cornerback, but he ain't get no play?
Because people think that he gets burnt too much because
he's slow.
He's slow, right? I heard he's slow.
Yeah,
right?
People think he's slow, but I think it's because he plays a lot of man coverage. He likes to be up and he likes to bump the receiver. That's what he likes to do. So I think he can. That's one guy I'm definitely gonna be watching. I think he's gonna be doing all the drills. I'm not sure, but
I can see us taking him.
I want him. I want him. I do not want the Commanders to get him. I want him to stay away
from
that
CBS Sports has Cam Smith as the number 2 wide receiver, cornerback. And when I asked him about playing in Philly, he sounded like he would be down for it. He brought up Darius Slay by name. He brought up James Bradbury by name. I mean, he sounds like he would love to be in Philly.
Listen. Everybody would love to be in Philadelphia. They're trying to put their brand out there, man. Like, no disrespect, but like everybody wants to be in Philadelphia. Hell, I mean, if you ask any player right now in the draft, they'll say, "Yeah, I'd rather go to Philadelphia, because it's a hot city, a great city." You know what I'm saying? Everybody would want to go to Philadelphia. They're going to say that because they want the brand, to come up. You know what I'm saying? Look how many players want to go to Dallas because it's a big market. Eagles are a big market right now. They're winning football games. They're playoff contenders every year. They just made to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not going to get attached to all these players who want to come. I mean, everybody's not going to be able to come to Philadelphia. But like I said, man, if you can get some guys like Cam Smith, who I think he's very underrated, I think he's going to be the best out of those group, man. I'm going to tell you right now.
Cam is a big boy, too. Seeing Cam in person, that boy bigger than I thought. I ain't going to cap.
And people are sleeping on him. They're sleeping on him.
Are y'all talking about Cam Smith?
Too. Emmanuel Forbes, he's like lanky, but he's big.
Well, Cam like 6'1", right?
Yeah, he's like 6'2", I think, if I'm not mistaken. He might be 6'2".
I mean,
he's like 6'1".
Everybody talking about Gonzalez and Joey Porter, but they're not talking about.
I've been doing a little watch now too.
I love.
I think Emmanuel.
I would take Gonzalez over all
decent corner, bro.
Emmanuel Forbes is another one I like. I do.
I think
that's a guy that the Eagles are probably looking at too. Like,
I think as far as this combine goes, if you look at the cornerback room, and this will be kind of my final share, you know what I'm saying? But I think if you look at this cornerback room, Emmanuel Forbes, Eli Ricks, Joey Porter Jr., if they're all running, I think those three probably. If Joey Porter Jr. goes out there and puts up sub 4.4, 4.5. I would say sub 4.45. If he can do something like around there, I think a lot of teams will look at him and be like, okay, maybe he's not slow. Maybe he's not, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it was just the system and, you know, what they were asking him to do. So I think those will probably be the three guys I keep my eye on if they end up running. So I like them.
I have a feeling Joey Porter going to run something crazy.
If I'm being real.
I think Joey Porter's going to run something crazy. I think Joey Porter's going to run something crazy. I think he's going to run a 4.32, something crazy like that.
So I think Gonzalez is going to be the most interesting actual run because his sisters, I think, are track stars. I think one of them's an Olympian. Like, he has running in his blood. Like, I'm pretty sure when he was birthed, they smacked him on his bottom and he just started running. Because that man, that's just what they do. They just are track all-stars. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this year is good. This year is just like you. I think the way that you said, you know, they have to put their hand in the cookie jar and just pick out a good cookie. That's really what it comes down to because these are all good players. What's going on, Dev?
What up? Oh, really? Catch up?
What's going on, brother? Hey, go Birds. Go Birds.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm about to actually get off here, but if you have any questions,
I gotta go, man.
definitely answer whatever.
So if Witherspoon run like a high 4.3 and he's not gonna fall to number 10, bro. Like, who do you go to next? Like,
if he's running the combine, he's not running today.
If Devin Witherspoon isn't there, I honestly, I would look at Christian Gonzalez. I would look at Joey Porter. I don't think Cam Smith is going to go at 10. If he does, you know, that's awesome. I just don't think teams see him at 10 yet. So if you're looking at cornerback, I think you're looking at Christian Gonzalez. You're looking at Joey Porter. Let me just look at my notes real quick. Make sure I'm not forgetting anybody.
Smitty, what's up, man? I was with you
good?
On Sunday, remember?
Yeah.
And I just changed my name. I want to ask you, why you don't like Kelly Ringo? What's wrong with him?
You staying in again?
I don't know what's up with him either, man. I think he's gonna be good.
Tape, I don't like the way I just didn't like the system he was in. I think it's gonna take too much time for him to be a top 10 pick to really mold him into being a 2 corner, bro. Like all the other corners on the list, they played more of a man up zone type defense, right? Kelly Ringo was more in that zone where he was getting good coverage because they had the best line in
best D line, for years.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, you look at Jordan Davis and a lot of the knocks that he got was that he was with such a good, and even, you know, Nakobe Dean. It's like you have so many great players around you. It's hard to really see if you're a product of that or if it's a product of you. But with Kelly Ringo, I like him as a prospect, don't get me wrong, but at number 10, I feel like he's one of those guys that is a project.
What I'm saying.
He's somebody that
I'm not drafting him number 10.
You're going to really have
that's what
to
I'm telling you right there, Dev.
Yeah.
You say it right, but like taking him at 10 is
you
just
have to get it
jump
together.
for me. Second round pick?
I think if he's even at 30, if you at 30 say, hey, I really like what Kelly Ringo can become, you know, I wouldn't be the most upset about it depending on what's on the board, but it is what he's going to become. He's going to. And I said this about everybody.
I think some team is going to take a chance to them in early rounds, man. I think some stupid team is going to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You always get that one stupid team that does something stupid.
Yeah, you always get that one odd team and get that one player like, oh, dang.
I could see someone like the Falcons doing it. I could see someone like
I think he spoke to the Falcons. He's small. I can
also see the Lions doing it. They need corner.
They have him at 6'2". He did not look 6'2". I'll say that much. Maybe it's because, you know, he was on the podium and, you know,
Christian Gonzalez, he's cool, but I didn't really see him like much. I love Christian Gonzalez.
He played in the Pac-12,
Gonzalez, man. I'm wondering if he's going to be.
When he played Georgia, he was getting manhandled. I seen that little highlight.
But with Christian Gonzalez, I feel like he is also another guy that's a projection, but I don't feel like he's fully gotten into his bag. I feel like
I mean,
like I feel like Kelly Ringo is what he is, and like you can work on his, you know, I think he needs to work on his hips. He needs to work on his fluidity and his transition and everything. But with Christian Gonzalez, he has all that. I just don't feel like Christian Gonzalez has that swagger that he's like oh, I'm that guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he don't
Like,
Oh,
got
then
that,
I
he's
don't
that
just
want
too
him in
quarterback
hype.
swag.
Philadelphia, bro.
Yeah.
Then
Exactly.
I
And
don't
I
want
feel
him
like
in
once he gets
Philadelphia,
that,
man.
it's a wrap, bro. It's a
You
wrap. Once he
notice?
gets that, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
if he
notice
don't have any
Eagles don't really
swagger,
get swaggy players like that. You know,
then
like
I don't want him in Philadelphia, man, because he's giving me other vibes. Like who remembers when everybody was hyping Caleb Farley to be the next great Jalen Ramsey?
oh yeah, he
And look
haven't
how he's
played
doing.
one down.
Like that right there. When you told me that reminds me so much of that guy because everybody was hyping him up,
Yeah, everybody
and
was
so
hyping him up. Oh
Yeah,
God.
That
I
dude from
don't want
Oakland
that.
too.
I don't want
That's the dude
I
from
don't
Oakland,
want
man.
a Caleb Farley on the Eagles, man. I want a guy like a Sauce Gardner. Give me that guy that's gonna be ready. If it's Joey Porter Jr., you take him. You know what I'm saying? But
What's
like
that
I
dude
said,
we
man,
traded for
like
from Oakland? What's his name? I forgot his name.
Namdi
Namdi
Asamoah.
Asamoah. Yeah, he ain't had no swag, no drip, no nothing. And came out here and got
well, also he was
embarrassed.
playing in a
We
different
wasted all
system
that
too.
money.
Yeah.
He was also in the wrong system too. It did not fit her system. We gotta understand some corners are not gonna fit her system. We gotta get a corner that fits her system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
the
good thing
issue.
about these corners here. A lot of them have played a lot of man and a lot of zone. Like I was just
Mhm.
looking at Kelly Ringo. He only played like 30% man though.
Right.
70% of his snaps came
But yeah, I
from
But
mean,
zone.
we
That's
don't
but
run
scary.
much, man. That's
but
the scary thing. A lot of
he
these players play man, and they want to play man. Like Cam Smith, you know, he said that we play a lot of man. We don't really play man, but he said that that's what he would like to do in the next level. Even I didn't record it, but he also even said that they asked him, "What would you rather do?" He was like, "Would you rather be a man guy or would you rather be a zone guy?" And he said, "I would much rather play man coverage, but you know, if they ask me to do it, I'm going to do it." That's been kind of that's been everybody. That's been all the
Yeah.
cornerbacks. Like
but
it's not really what they
he
want to do. They'd rather play that man coverage, and that's what a lot of cornerbacks rather do. Like that's just how it is. You want to be on a
but
guy and just be able to say you ain't doing nothing. You know.
I got a question. If you had to pick one
What's up?
player on the defensive side of next season or this season that you think like who you're excited to see most, I'm gonna go first since I brought it up. Kobe Dean, man, I think he's
sure.
ready. That's what I'm focused on this season or
I,
next season or whatever.
I think N'Kobe Dean about to really take over, man.
Yeah,
I've been saying along. I've been saying along. I think N'Kobe Dean was disrespected. I think N'Kobe Dean reminds me of that
yeah,
Metcalf dude on defense. The fact that this guy fell in the third round when he was an early first, and people talk about his size and everything like that. I think that he has a chip on his shoulder. When I look
yeah,
at him, he reminds me a lot like a former Bears that went to the Ravens, Roquan Smith. That's how I think he plays.
yeah,
You know what I'm
on
saying?
everything.
And
They
and
similar.
you know, go ahead.
I would say, Castro. You know how dominant he was as like an edge rusher or just blitzing from the middle, like the
Mhm.
linebacker position. He got that like I brought this up before, but they were saying the size. Okay, I get it. It's the NFL level for me. I'd say like shit, put him in like a Michael Parsons or something. But you know,
With
probably the
N'Kobe
size.
Dean.
Yeah, I mean, he got the speed. He
N'Kobe
got
Dean, my whole thing with him is like, I mean, having Jordan Davis helps a lot, but he
yeah,
in Georgia he dealt with a lot of clean fronts.
yeah,
Like he never really had to like fight against any offensive
Mhm.
lineman because
on
the defensive
everything. He
line was
right through the
absolutely
hose.
disgusting. Exactly. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. If I had to say a player that I really want to see next year, you know, take off for this defense, it's going to be Jordan Davis. I want to see Jordan
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to see him.
Davis take that next step that if he
Hey,
can become a dominant player, that becomes very
Eh,
helpful for the Eagles. But
Another,
Smitty, say what you got to say, and then I
my
do
fault.
have to get out of here. I'm not gonna lie,
Oh
but
yeah, for
I
I
got
sure.
to go
was
back
I
to
was gonna go
that.
with y'all, you know what I'm saying, with the N'Kobe Dean and what's that little linebacker we just got, man? Like what last year before?
Which one?
Out of the draft,
The dude
Patrick
Devin?
from LSU.
Johnson.
That guy.
Johnson.
I think if he can get some playing
Patrick
time, he
Johnson.
might can show up something, man. I want to see something.
Kyron
I'm tired of
Johnson.
Y'all
That's
drafting
the
all
sleeping.
these
one.
Y'all
dudes and
Kyron
then
sleeping
they be
on
on
Johnson.
the
one
practice
Eagle.
squad
You're
for 3
sleeping on one
years.
Eagle that I think is gonna have a big year, man. I think that dude, Johnson that we got in the sixth round,
He
That's what I
just
just
Kyron
said
said.
that.
Johnson.
That's what I
He
just
Yeah,
just
said.
said
Johnson.
that. You see, you got to be
I
listening to
think that
people,
guy's about
dog.
to
he
shock a lot of people.
He just took my shit. Hey, he just took my
literally
player
just
like
took
that.
it exactly. Yo, EC literally.
Hey, Castro, when you going back live?
Huh?
I'll hopefully after
After the
depending on how I'm
combine
feeling,
coming?
but yeah, I'll go live after the combine when I get back home. I'll probably be back like 7 or 8, and I'll maybe go live for like 20, 30 minutes. But if not, definitely at the same time tomorrow, we're going to do the same thing. And we'll talk about the draft combine and who I've talked to then. But I do have to get out of here. I got to get ready to get back to the stadium.
Don't sleep on K-Ron Johnson, bro. Don't sleep on that defensive end that we got. I'm telling you, you're going to be good.
Smitty is going to come beat you up, bro. You keep taking his
He said Patrick Johnson. I said K-Ron.
I appreciate y'all sliding through.
No, I didn't know his name. I just know his last name is Johnson. That's all I knew.
Y'all can keep going.
Oh, okay.
Y'all can hang out in here.
Yeah, it's K-Ron Johnson. That dude is a stud. I like him.
All right. Well, I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon, guys.
Mm-hmm.